The story of J. Robert Oppenheimer begins quietly, almost gently, with a shy young scientist who loved poetry as much as he loved physics. People who met him never imagined he would one day hold the power to change the fate of the world. But curiosity is a dangerous spark, and for Oppenheimer, that spark grew into a fire. The moment he realized the universe wasn't just beautiful, it was full of secrets that begged to be unlocked. By the early 1940s, World War II was tearing countries apart, and whispers began spreading through scientific circles that Nazi Germany might be building a terrifying new kind of weapon. A bomb unlike anything humanity had ever seen. The United States panicked. They needed the smartest mind possible. And so, the government turned to a man who preferred chalk dust on his hands and starlit nights above New Mexico, ACS deserts. When Oppenheimer arrived at Los Alamos, he wasn't just a scientist anymore. He became a commander of geniuses, a leader of wild ideas, a conductor of a scientific orchestra racing against Hitler. There was excitement in the air, a strange mix of fear and brilliance. People worked day and night, driven by the belief that if they didn't build this bomb first, the world would fall into the darkest hands. Oppenheimer watched equations turn into explosions, theories transform into metal and fire, and a dream become something real, something dangerous, something irreversible. Then came July 16, 1945, the Trinity Test, a bomb resting silently in the desert, waiting to wake the world. Scientists stood miles away, barely breathing. Oppenheimer looked through protective goggles, heart pounding, mind racing. When the explosion ripped through the desert sky, it was like the sun had fallen to Earth. The shockwave shook the ground, and humanity stepped into a new chapter. In that blinding flash, Oppenheimer felt two emotions collide. Pride, because he had achieved the impossible, and terror, because he knew exactly what he had unleashed. That same year, 2 atomic bombs were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Cities turned to ash. Innocent lives vanished in seconds. The world celebrated victory, but Oppenheimer didn't. At the White House, when President Truman asked him how he felt, Oppenheimer said, "I feel I have blood on my hands." He wasn't being dramatic. He meant every word. The genius who once believed he was helping save the world now felt like he had cracked it open. He spent the rest of his life warning people about nuclear weapons, begging nations not to misuse the power he helped create. His voice was shaky but honest. He didn't want to be the father of the atomic bomb. He wanted to be the scientist who tried to stop the next war. Oppenheimer once quoted a sacred line when he saw the first explosion. "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." But people forget the part after that. He also said he wished that knowledge had stayed theoretical forever. He wished the world had never needed that kind of power. The deeper truth is that Oppenheimer didn't regret being a scientist. He regretted living in a time where science had to choose between destruction and survival. And he regretted that his talent, his genius, his love for knowledge became a tool of war. His story is not just about a bomb. It's about responsibility. It's about how even the brightest minds can feel the weight of their own brilliance. Oppenheimer changed history in a single flash of light, but he spent the rest of his life standing in the shadow of that glow. And maybe that's why his story still hits us so deeply today, because it reminds us that power always comes with a price. And sometimes the people who change the world are the ones who spend their lives wishing they hadn't.